Do Peasant Bowmen hit the mark in patch 8.0? I can go into a classic line for a classic unit. Peasant Bowmen are iconic, and you'd almost prefer a Bretonnia that could just spam them without consequences rather than deal with the peasant economy, rather than just knights. But that's not really how it works. Not with the peasant economy. So, how do these units overperform to the point that the melee infantry rage and eat their hoods? Let's go into the details. Recruited for 400 gold in 100 upkeep as a default baseline, the Peasant Bowmen unit comes on Ultra Scale at 90 entities with 4,860 health between them for 54 per. Since I'm writing this after my Peasant Archers script, note the more normal 90 entities unit health isn't unreasonable given that change. Armor is 15, much like those Peasant Brethren. Leadership 33 is with the updated some time ago Bretonnia mechanics, so let's politely overlook that this is actually lower than skeleton units and Skaven slays, okay? For now, speed 33 and charge speed 40 track with being lightweight. Melee attack is a mere 10. Attack interval 4.3 seconds, no splash damage. Pretty bad, we expected that. Melee defense starts at 14, and the fact we have seen worse is of little solace. Weapon Strength 22 is split base 19 and Armor Piercing 3, not atypical for the type. Charge bonus of 3 is predictably awful, and mass is a trim 90. For ranged, the whole point of this unit, ammunition starts at 22 volleys, but range is a longbowman style 160 meters, equal to an Empire crossbow default. Actual damage is base 16 and armor piercing 3 per impact, making the effect like a budget crossbow unit with 1 arrow per volley and reload time 11 seconds default, equal to the Peasant Archers before their Harmony mechanic cranks that up a lot. Total accuracy starts at the standard 20, calibration distance 120 meters means their default accuracy holds up pretty far, calibration area 5.9 meters means their natural spread is quite high, just like the Peasant Archers, so they are absolutely meant to blanket entire units rather than be pinpoint. No multi-entity penetration. This is not an expendable unit per se. The passive A Peasant's Duty means that it will gain a comparatively whopping leadership plus 8 in the general presence of any knight unit, including characters. They figured Chaos Dwarfs get something similar, so why not? And leadership was rebalanced around it. There are 2 additional variants. The Poison variant is super easy to explain because it's the exact same stat line, but the arrows inflict poison, reducing speed and melee and range damage minus 15%. Now, this is really nice to have on your side and hasn't inflicted friendly fire poison for a good number of years, so far away without a conscience. But the fire arrows actually completely rebalance the range stats. Also, both of these variants cost 450 gold and 113 upkeep now. So, obviously the fire arrows are flaming attack for better and worse, but each actual hit inflicts base 21 and armor piercing 2, so you lost 1 AP per arrow and gained 5 base damage. Against the right targets, that is a huge shift in your favor. Against the wrong targets, not so much. The changes end here. In the redline skills, Peasant Proficiency at 3 pips grants ammunition plus 20% and reload time reduction 8% to burn through that ammo faster. Guided by the Lady gives rank 7 and up ones range plus 10%, where they start at 160, plus 12% missile strength, so they hit harder, and reload time reduction 10% more, so that they go through the ammo even faster, hitting harder and at longer ranges. That's quite good as these things go. In the tech tree, only one late-game tech is truly meant for them specifically, but Professional Fletchers adds plus 15% ammunition, so those quivers last a lot longer, range plus 5% to add to the other boost, and missile strength another plus 10%. So how do we use Peasant Bowmen? Maybe it seemed like we breezed through that, but this section is important. Peasant Bowmen may differ a little in damage profile, but what I just said is both simple and stark. You cannot get the most out of them without being spec'd in the red line for them, and the technology in the late game reaches. Everything else you are doing is getting by until you can reach that pinnacle, and it can be a long wait. So, as a practical matter, we must gauge them in their default state, and at most, their early boost to ammunition and reduction of reload time. One Peasant Bowmen unit isn't going to do a ton, and it won't wow you, but it will do damage. 4 to 5 present a massive thicket of thin pointy things falling into the enemy's chests that just through raw power of attrition, they'll do something. because that armor-piercing 3 is high enough to get somebody's attention, even in thick armor. Against some enemies, this won't be nearly enough, but as a general anti-everything and anti-flyer, this is a good, solid unit you can work around. That is, it's good and solid unless your containment breaks and the enemy's shock troops, cavalry, monsters, and chariots get on them. Then it's bad. Your flanking ability with this unit is limited. On the other hand, barring very special mechanics like something really evil with sail, their minimum range will always be 160 meters. That's not short. This is a classic ranged sandpaper unit. It diminishes the enemy at a constant rate. Its ability to break the enemy quickly is a little bit low. Its ability to break armies through mass attrition is actually pretty strong. It doesn't have all the mechanics of Peasant Archers for Cathay, and it doesn't need them. It does need time, appropriate targets, and protection to buy that time. So your melee infantry are a protection racket. Consider the bowmen the canaries in the coal mine. If your standard tactics will work, hey, abuse them and do it a lot. If it's not good enough, time to get creative. Thanks to the physical realities of arcane shots, you'd prefer the battle take place 100 meters out rather than 10. Knights can help with that. If you can stretch the battlefield, you can keep these bowmen contributing solidly. And of course, at the high end, plus 15% range and the damage and reload time boosts are quite powerful, and encourage you to spam as many as you're able to. Take care and have fun driving low armor forces into witness protection. It's like when the random mobs are several levels below you and just run away for their first action. They don't even want to show their faces anymore.